7 tips for a better headshot. Good evening, sessionistas and photogs, and welcome to Photogslife. My name is Chris Calumberan, and I am the chief photographer and founder of Chris Calumberan FZE. Please visit our socials. The links are down below. We are entering a new season in a new era this year. It's all about headshots nowadays. It's all about your profile photograph. It's all about what is your next viral headshot. What is the importance of headshots to your career and the representation of your press or PR, public relation side of things, especially when you're an entrepreneur, when you're a public figure, if you are a business person, or if you are looking for a job, what kind of headshot is good for you, especially if you're an actor or a model. We will discuss that on this season. We are planning to give at least 5 episodes of this topic about headshots, all about headshots. By the way, I am also a headshot coach. I coach a lot of models and a lot of actors here in the UAE when it comes to headshots, how it is important to have the proper headshots that casting agencies would require for you to represent yourself, so that you would be able to be casted in different parts, either a feature film. I remember I did a lot of headshots for the people who are already actors and actresses here in the UAE. The blog post is from www.backstage.com, and the article name is 7 tips for better headshots according to a top acting coach. This is written by Mr. Matthew Newton. Visit their website, backstage.com. A headshot is a single most important marketing tool for an actor or a model. It can make it or break it. It can make your career or break your career. First impression is not the physical. The first impression is your photograph, to be honest with you. And people really judge you on your photograph, especially before they see you and on the day they see you on a go-see or a casting, because they will definitely, casting agencies or people from the client side, if they are going to create a feature film, or if they're going to create a small production or a big campaign, they will only look for the photographs first, and from those photographs they would choose or shortlist a list of people they would like to invite and see. This is where we go in as casting agencies. Back in the days, they will give us a brief, and then they will shortlist on the ethnicity, and then the age, and then of course the gender and the age, and then the nationality, what ethnicity it is. It can be Hispanic, Mediterranean, European, Asian, Southeast Asian, Middle East Asian, and all these rows and columns on the database. You should have the best headshot, because you need to be up there on the pros, or up there on the the easily noticeable headshot. So that is a very important tool, which is getting the attention of the casting agent or the client or the producer. Yes. Number 2 is headshot is your calling card. Definitely. We have these said cards before that we have put all the measurements, because although it's like a version of the website online that your agency have, and it's a printed form so that you can give it away. It's called the said card. Although on the said card is your headshot. On the said card is your best headshot and your best campaign that you were involved in the year. Usually one person or a model or whoever updates that every 6 months or every year, so that they will have fresh content on their said cards, so they can distribute it wherever place in the world they travel, so they can work with other agencies as well. Ideal shots should be printed on 8x10 and displayed on your social medias or your website. Yes, since your headshot is being used as a marketing tool, you should have it printed and have it on um, a, um, a plastic album that you can carry with you, or on your iPod that you can carry with you and take it to the agency. So if you have an interview or so, you can show what kind of work. It's kind of like a portfolio when it comes to photographers. I usually carry my 14 by 17. Right here it's written 8 by 10. It's not a problem. It's good enough. But obviously the bigger the better, because it's you are trying to get the first impression of the casting agency, or the agency that you are trying to apply for. Yeah. So what this is the that's the introduction. So what to keep in mind when doing headshots? This is the cream of the crop. This is the body of this article. Number one is you have to go pro. Headshots, believe it or not, is a little bit expensive, because this is um, how how a photographer would get your personality, how the photographer will get your best side. And it takes a really good photographer, or a photographer that understands what an agency needs, or what you can get from the actor. You have to go pro. You have to invest on this. It ranges from $400 to $1,200. Really depends on the area that you are in, and also on the photographer and the caliber of the photographer that you are trying to work with, and in the studio that they are in at the same time. When you say GoPro, obviously it's not just having the professional photographer, it's also having or knowing that photographer, so that you would be able to be comfortable, build a rapport. Is a photographer someone that you have dealt with before? Is a photographer that you have worked with in profession before? Someone you are comfortable, basically. Some of them also can be, it's the first time you have worked with, but has a really good reputation. So go for the pro if you want to have it properly done. If you want to have it done nicely, have it properly done with the pro, from those people who knows what they are doing. Number two, opt for personality rather than glamour. Opting for personality rather than glamour, meaning to say, instead of you being like the really pampered and really barbied or manicured type that you are, the glamoured version of you, choose go to the personality end, because the personality end, it becomes more timeless and it becomes more natural. So that is why it's very important to have it the personality rather the glamour side. Be more natural when it comes to things. Number three, it's all about the eyes. Yes, it's all about the eyes. The eyes basically talks to the camera. The eyes basically is the viewpoint of whoever it is who is looking on the said card. So you need to have a speaking eye. A speaking eye, we can talk about that later in a different blog post. But a speaking eye is something that it's piercing. It conveys emotion. It conveys the acting personality of the person who is on that headshot frame. Number four, pay attention to the framing and background. Yes, you may have a chance to choose what your background is. It can be outdoor, it can be in the studio, it can be in a natural environment, or it can be in a home environment. Something It can be in the living room, in the kitchen, whatever it is, in the hallway. You might having an idea how you can frame yourself, or how you can compose the shot that you would need, or the scenario that you are looking at, is a really plus advantage of you. Sometimes the photographer would ask, what are you looking for, what kind of photographs are you looking for, and would you provide a location, in case. Sometimes the photographer does have a lots of location database on their database, but some of the models have an idea already where to shoot, or what kind of shoot they wanted to do. So have an idea, or pay attention to the framing or the background. Number 5, consider natural light versus studio. This, I'm a little bit not hesitant, but yeah, natural light is always really good. But studio, for especially for those who are beginners when it comes to headshot, those people who really wants to go deep into headshots, should be using a studio, because a studio is a controlled environment. It has privacy, and it's basically consistent when it comes to lighting conditions. This is also like comfortable for the model, for the agents, for the photographer. It's not as exposed when it comes to outdoor or outside, But natural light, obviously, you can do natural light in the studio when you have a big window or a bank light. But for me, I would recommend studio for those who wants to learn more, who wants to be coached, who wants to go deeper when it comes to the control of face, the facial control, the how you would be able to pull out a certain look that you are, that can be your signature look. Number 6, do not go crazy with clothing and props. Yes, for me, if we're going to do a session, that's why I call you guys sessionistas. For those people who would like to sit down with me when it comes to a photograph session, be certain, or have a decision, be decided on your clothing, your wardrobe. Very important, because make sure that you will have it ready in the day of the shoot. Do not bring a lot of options. Only bring those who fits the best, and what you will wear if you're going to a date, if you will wear during a really special occasion, fits you well, that can close the deal, something that you will feel very confident on when you are wearing it. Props, sometimes you don't need props, but maybe in the 90s you do, but nowadays it has to be in communication, meaning to say towards the camera or towards the viewer. So you don't basically need props. Props may be something that is, you're holding something, or you're doing something just to give that kind of emphasis, what kind of industry you are in, something like this. But I recommend no props. I recommend really solid selection on the clothing or in the wardrobe. Number 7, go easy on the makeup. Again, when you go back to number 2, personality over glamour. Go easy on the makeup. Usually your photographer will have a recommendation of a makeup artist. Otherwise, if you can do your own makeup, is also good. But most of the time, we tend to go over makeup. That's why it's very important to have either a groomer or the makeup artist who knows the the boundaries when it comes to the studio light that they have, the studio light that the photographer has. So there you have it. All in all, if you are a first time headshot, you know, client or person who is looking for a headshot, you need to find your photographer. Most of the time, people come to me because they are comfortable and they are confident that I can bring out the best in them. We have this rapport. I mean, photographers should have this type of soft skills that not everybody have. It's basically how we interact and how we create and transfer positivity to the subject, because being in front of the camera can be very, can have that feeling of vulnerability. You can be vulnerable in front of the camera, you can be really shy, you can go something that you are confused. It can bring a lot of anxiety when you're in front of the camera. That's why it's very important to find a photographer that you are could easily get ease into and would have the same objective of having this, having that photograph that will really grab you or get the job for you. Now, that is awesome. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you for listening. I am like almost on the 15-minute, 20-minute pay time. But I'm very glad that we are going to start this season with headshots. And I wish this year to 2020 would bring a lot of luck and health and happiness and security to ourselves and to our family. So thank you very much again. This is Chris Calumberan, and welcome 2020, and have a great day and have a great year. Cheers.